Welcome to the Arsenal show, or a combined Arsenal and Manchester United pod. We've got a big cast today. I'm joined by Nathan Ellington, Steve K, Jerome Marks, and Garth Lewis. How you doing, everyone? Everyone good?
Yeah, very good, mate.
Good.
Very good.
Let's see, we've got in the comment section. We've got names already. We've got Albert there. We've got Jonathan there. How you doing, everyone? Good to see you again. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you are new to the show. All right, let's get going. All right, it's a combined pod tonight in gearing up for the game of this weekend. We'll have the preview at the end. But first of all, I thought we'd talk about the comparisons with the new managers. There's a lot of comparisons. Look, young managers, sleeping giants. I don't know what's going on there. My eyes are deceiving me. I seem to be seeing some Man United stuff flicking about. It's Nathan is playing around the background. Ejected.
5 games have started already, guys.
Right, I'm already seeing 8 people in the cut. Smash that like. I want to see the amount of likes. Keep hitting the likes, people. Keep hitting the likes. All right. As I was saying, the comparisons, young managers, sleeping giants, trying to turn it, bring back the glory days to these two massive clubs. First and foremost, Nathan, Erik ten Hag. He's been there not too long. You've seen a bit of what he's got to offer. Are you impressed with what you've seen so far?
Of course. Very, very impressed with what he's tried to imprint in the side as soon as he come in. Pre-season's been unbelievable in terms of what he's done and what he's been able to produce during pre-season. It's just unfortunate that he didn't have all of the tools to hand for every game this pre-season. Otherwise, I think we would have had 2 different results early on as well if Martial was fit. And he actually, chose to be fair, you know what? You've got to put some blame on him picking some of the players that he picked as well. But overall, I think he's done well because he had to feel out the players that we had. And then he makes the changes that we need. So I'm very, very happy with the start that we've had, considering what we finished with at the end of last season. And I'm very happy with our transfers now that have been completed. Every single player that we've got.
I was going to say, I had to stop you, Nathan, there, because I was just feeling like some lies were coming across. You're happy with the transfers you've done now, but what about
what we have in the building?
Okay, but what about the business? What about the way you've conducted yourselves in the transfer market? How have you felt about that?
Yeah, that's a different question altogether. But I'm not bothered about all that. I'm not bothered about the ride and the journey. I'm worried about the final whistle. You know, when you're playing a match, people getting shots and offside and all that, and you're getting maybe 5 offside goals. It doesn't matter. It's 5 offside goals. We've got the full-time whistle. We won the game. We've got our players that we want, and they're better than what we had. That's all that matters.
All right. Steve, Mikel Arteta, he's been there for nearly 3 seasons now. In comparison to what you've seen with Erik ten Hag, how far do you think he's got to go to get to where Arteta has got Arsenal to at the moment? Not as in. I'm not talking about. No. I'm not talking about because people will take the question. People will take that question as in I'm saying who's the better team. That's not what I care about. I'm talking
no.
Squad-wise, to get to where Arsenal are at, where they've got a squad that they're fully happy with, from what you've seen.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's very hard to compare the 2 managers because, this fact is that Ten Hag is an excellent manager. There's no denying that. But to me, he's still got to be proven in the Premier League. He's got to still be proven in the big time. I think he'll succeed. I don't think that there's any doubt in that. But I still think he's, I'm sure Man United fans are still thinking, sitting there self, well, yeah, you've done this in the Eredivisie, you won this cup, that cup, and you did all right in the Champions League, but you know, I've seen Celtic and Rangers do all right in the Champions League. Mikel Arteta, different kettle of fish, knows the Premier League, got it back in his hands, been a winner with Man City, came into Arsenal. As sort of, I think Ten Hag would love to be where Arteta is now in 3 years. Personally, I think he'd take that now, because what Arteta's done for me is, you know, outstanding at Arsenal. I've always someone who's, you know, stuck beside him. I've never been someone who's been on the Arteta out. Yes, the results ain't gone well at times. You know, the league position ain't looked great. But when you look into deep what he's had to come into, I mean, he came into a total mess. He came into a squad of about 45 players. You just can't come in and buy new players overnight. And considering he came in his first season, won the FA Cup, shifted players out, shifted troublemakers out, had a window or two where he was given no money. And he's only had 2 decent windows. The one that was last season where he brought in players that people laughed at, but he knew they was right for Arsenal at the time. The kids, he knew that had to be 2 years older. He's kept with them. He's kept faith with them. Hence, you can see how much they love him. So, yeah, for me, I think Ten Hag could do it. I think he'll be an excellent success in the Premiership. But and I think he would love to be where Arteta is now in 3 years. But I think that I think he's got a way to go. But Arteta for me is not far off now. I think a season or 2 now, and I think he'll be well established. People are still having their doubts about him and saying this and that. As I said, I've never had any doubts. When there was doubts about the position and this, that, and the other. The fall away last season, they thought, oh, well, should he be sacked? Someone brought in. They wasn't looking. They didn't see the fact that we had kids in the side. Didn't have the fact that we didn't have a squad and we had young kids on the bench. So yeah, for me, I'm very, very happy, mate.
All right,
Garth, please say what I'm thinking.
What? 3 years, mate? What, like 3 years, mate? I'd win the league, mate. Winning the league. So I don't know where this. I think you'll be well happy to be where Arteta is in 3 years. No, absolutely not. That's nonsense. That would be a failure. And Arteta's done very, very well. But Man United have got a much better squad than when Arteta come into Arsenal. The basis is there already. So yeah, like if you're talking us just making the Champions League in 3 years, that's a failure for Ten Hag. Sorry, Keir.
So what's the path for Man United this season? What's an acceptable finish?
I still will go 6th or 5th this season, but after that it's Champions League all the way. And as I'm saying, 3 years, Man United should be challenging for the title. Like that, absolutely. With the manager we've got, with the squad that we've got. I mean, even now, like Arsenal are playing well, but you put it on paper, Man United's squad should be leagues above Arsenal's squad at the moment, just from money spent and the.
So what's stopping Man United from being leagues above Arsenal right now? Because they're not.
Well, he's 4 games in. I mean, that's a little bit of a.
No,
I don't know
but based on last season, you're meant to be.
That wasn't Ten Hag.
Okay, but what's changed?
Ten Hag. That's what we're talking about.
But we had this conversation not even long ago, and I swear I mentioned the management, and you said that's not enough to change this team round.
No, I meant players. It's not just his style. Then we need the in players. But same as I'll go with what Nathan was saying about how he dealt with the transfer window. I'm not. We've been absolutely had our pants pulled down all summer over Frenkie de Jong, and Ten Hag had blinkers on all the way through that, and that was a nonsense move. We knew for months he wasn't coming, and we've ended up having to do what I thought was going to happen, which is rush buying players out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Casemiro, I don't care what anyone said, he was never on the list. He was never on the list. That came about from somewhere else. But listen, like, what I mean is, if you're asking me where, comparing Arteta to Ten Hag's come into a much better squad than Arteta did. Ten Hag's also made mistakes that I think Arteta did very well with. Getting rid of Aubameyang. We need to get rid of Ronaldo. He doesn't want to be here. You know what I mean? Like, stripping the captaincy off of Aubameyang. Like, Harry Maguire should be stripped of the captaincy immediately. He hasn't been performing. So there are mistakes there. There's no two ways about it. I don't think he's done fantastic, but he's brought in a system into Man United that we haven't had for years. He's got a couple of the players that he wants. And so, yeah, in 3 years, mate, for me, if we're not challenging for the title, yeah, it's an abject failure for him. It really is.
But as you said yourself, Man United squad's in a better state than what Arsenal's was when Mikel Arteta took over. So
You know, I don't know. You know,
no,
last year we were looking.
Jerome. Let's ask Jerome. Jerome, if you was to put squad for
No.
squad, who would you have said was the better squad on paper? Man United's, yeah, or Arsenal's when Mikel Arteta took over? I can pull up Arsenal's squad when Mikel Arteta took over if you want.
Yeah,
You do that, please. Do that as well. Go on.
the thing is, when Arteta took over, the squad was a bit of a mess, but he had like these established names like Lacazette, Aubameyang. Like he did have these names, but the whole squad was just in disarray. You had players massively underperforming. Obviously, United's squad on paper is really strong. I think when you're talking about the new manager that they've got, in terms of what's gonna happen moving forward, I just think he needs time with the players. Like he's just come in, he's had four games in the Premier League. Like it needs to be given time. Like players need to gel. And I think what United are able to do, which they're well entitled to, they're well within their rights, is that they can sort of fast track the success and throw money at it. Which, like I said, that's the game these days, isn't it? It's either spend lots of money or be super, super clever with your recruitment. And yeah, I want United this season. I can, they'll be challenging for top four, no doubt. They've got a very strong squad. They've spent best part of 200 million this summer, not on players for the future, maybe Anthony perhaps, but like for players for now, like the centre back, Casemiro, been there and done it. This competition for top four this season, it's going to be so strong. But I think that, it's so early. Like I said to Garth earlier, like a couple of games, everything changes. They get a couple of big wins, Man United, then it's all looking rosy. So it's just a time thing, I think.
All right. I have the teams, and look, it's hands down. Man United is a better squad than Arsenal's was.
It's just the established. It's just the established internationals in it, and like the.
You know.
Like
that just shows what a fantastic job Arteta did, though.
That's what I'm saying.
You
For
know,
me, there's a comment here that says Arteta should be sacked last year. Nonsense comment. Absolute
ridiculous.
nonsense comment. Like
Absolute
I'm not having that. No.
So
That's
taking
just
a
someone looking at football. They don't know what they're talking about.
Was Saka playing left back a lot then?
Yeah. Saka was playing left back, to the point where he was playing overplayed. They tried to bring Kolasinac in, and then the first game they brought Kolasinac back in, he got injured within 15 minutes. So Saka had to come back in. He played the majority of the season left back, and to the point where people were saying, "Oh, maybe he should be a left back," and I was getting wound up because he's literally just covering.
Hey, but look. Oh,
No,
man,
mate. That squad's nowhere near it, Nate. I don't know what argument you're looking for here, mate.
Yeah, no, that squad's trash.
They've got Reece Nelson on right wing, mate. Like,
Thank you. They've got Lucas Torreira in central midfield with Ozil, and even in that picture, he don't want to play. He don't look up for it. Like the team is way off. About the transfer.
United.
Go on.
Nah, but the thing is, the way United were playing last season, like how many games in a row were we playing where we're just getting battered by anyone?
No, but
Everyone and anyone. So he's taken over that squad. It's not the players on paper, it's the combination of players. So you've got the wrong combination United had to be a strong enough side to even last in the Premier League. Like we're lucky. We're lucky like we didn't get, I'm telling you, we had a relegation form for the whole of half the season. We had relegation form. We're getting battered by anyone, and we knew we was going to get battered by anyone because it's just the wrong side. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm thinking, right, I'm looking at them players, and I was thinking I'd take some of them, quite a few of them, over what our last starting lineup was last year. And I know on paper, when you look at it, he should be good. But I'm not looking at like these players that should be good. Like midfield was pants, defense was pants, attack was rubbish. Like I don't know. It's hard. It's hard.
I don't think it's hard at all, Nath. Ronaldo's the best striker in the world for us. We've got him in the team. You've got Rafa. You've got
best striker in the world.
He still scored 18 Premier League goals last year.
You've
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 got Rafa Varane at centre back. You've got the world's most. I mean, Aaron Guy's rubbish. But then
forget him.
Mate, there's a back four of Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, Socrates, David Luiz, Kyle Saka. Nath, you can't argue that.
And we still wouldn't won an FA Cup.
Yeah,
we won an FA Cup that
I would
year.
have taken Maitland-Niles. I'd take Maitland-Niles.
You could have had Maitland-Niles, mate.
Over who?
Please tell me.
Wan-Bissaka. I'll take him over Wan-Bissaka and Delors.
Where do you want him driven to? I'll drive him to him now.
I'll tell you what, Nath.
I would take Wan-Bissaka all day over.
And I'll see Ainsley Maitland-Niles play, and Wan-Bissaka gives more.
He played for England.
So did Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka played for England.
He did not in the England squad.
Yeah, played for England, ain't it?
Wan-Bissaka's played for England.
I drive Maitland-Niles for United now.
Honestly, Nath, Maitland-Niles.
No, I'm saying I would have taken him. His attacking play is better than Wan-Bissaka's, of course. And he was a utility player who went in midfield, went right back, and he could play right wing.
Wan-Bissaka hasn't got an England cap, by the way. He hasn't got an England cap, so sorry, Nath.
No, but did he get called up to the squad?
Yeah.
Sorry, but Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, is a utility player, but he's not good at the majority of the positions he's meant to be taken up. And that's the problem.
But you know what?
He can't play midfield.
Mate, I'd take Maguire over Socrates every day of the week as well. So
And hold on a second, David Luiz or it was Socrates or Mustafi. Like it was honestly
I'd take
the
David
pain.
Luiz over
The pain.
But when he got
Look,
older,
everyone's
he got
rubbing their
worse,
heads.
People wondering why we finished eighth.
Got older and not playing well after he got older, but he was good before he got older. So,
Who's that?
Luiz. When he first came back, it was all right, and then the next season, you just
No. Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? David Luiz, of all the players that that sort of get berated from that squad, David Luiz ended up being a player who was like, actually, he's all right. We actually, when he's not playing, we miss him and that's why I think we had the evolution of Ben White. Why Arsenal end up buying a player who's good, has a good range of passing, because David Luiz does. And when we took that out of our game, we were missing. So we didn't have someone an outlet who could just ping a ball to the wingers. That's why I personally think that. Well, maybe that was the way they wanted to play in the first place, but they brought in Ben White, and he does a very similar job.
Right. So the only question I was going to ask, on that whole point was, Steve, where are you guys now in terms of where we need to be in 3 years? I want to know where you feel you are right now, that we're not anywhere near that, and it's going to take 3 years to get where you are today. Can you explain that?
Because I feel Man United. I mean, I don't know. We don't know what football. They might all click into place this season. They might finish fourth this year. We don't know. But I'm going on the last 3 seasons of Manchester United, and you've still got quite a few players still there, and their mentality stunk, right? Just the same as they did Arsenal's. So he's got to come in, Ten Hag, and he's got to change all that. He's got to sift out all the bad eggs. He's got to get into the players' head. He ain't going to get it in pre-season. He's not going to get it this season. He's not going to, instill his own, ethos on what he wants to do with Manchester United. So you're not, in my eyes, as I said, you could finish fourth. No problem. Right. But to do all that, that's not gonna happen overnight. As I say, we've all watched.
That's what you mean, isn't it? Like,
to me,
on the whole squad. Where Arteta came in, he had to put his imprint in. It took a little while to get all the players that he needs, that he wants, that are his players.
Yeah.
then all of a sudden
Yeah,
now you're seeing the fruits of what he actually wants. You're saying that's what it's going to take for us to get there.
Yeah, because I still feel you're short 4 or 5 players. Because if you've got an injury to certain players, you're still looking at your bench and going, "Oh, McFred's in, McTominay's in,
Yeah,
Maguire's in."
Sorry,
You're still off.
Can I just ask
wait,
Arsenal not?
wait.
Sorry,
Let me jump in.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we are. I'm not
I
claiming we're going to be champions this year.
I don't think we're too far away from that. In that position where if we get an injury, we're in a bit of trouble. However, I do agree with Steve with regards to you've got to sift out your so-called dead wood. It works both ways. 4 games in on that argument, 4 games in on the other argument, which is these players have only. There's 2 players there in Shaw and Maguire that have only sat out for 2 games. 20 games later, will their influence on the dressing room, which they've had over the last however many years, be sort of questioned again when they're not getting game time? It will depend on whether Man United are winning or not, and what results are going what way. But I think that's a massive question with regards to because that's the problem you've had. You said it yourself. You've got a similar squad to what you had before, and your squad is on paper was better than Arsenal's when Ten Hag took over. The problem was the mentality. Who's the bad eggs, and can you change their mentality to buy in to it's better? What's better for the club as opposed to what's better for yourself? That's how I see it. So, who do you think's the problem, and how do you make sure that they're kept sweet in this situation? Not even kept sweet. Doesn't even have to be kept sweet. I'll ask Nathan.
It's a problem for what? What are you telling me?
What's the how did Man United 10 games in? Are they how are you sure that 10 games in you won't have the same bad apples causing rifts in the team because they're not playing?
I don't really, you know what? I think the players, we brought in enough players now that we should be able to change the kind of the way we think. There's so many players now, like there's only a few players left in that side, and they're the players left that I actually want to see playing. To be fair, it's the back 4 looking quite strong now. Midfield are completely different. If you pick the players, look, you've got Eriksen, who's new, Casemiro, who's going to be new as well. And then you add Fred in the attacking sense to that. Casemiro, Fred, they played together. Now you've got Casemiro, Fred, and Anthony who've played together. So they know how to play with each other. And you've got the midfield. You just got like it's a good kind of blend there. You got Martial now who can play up front, or obviously you're going to put Rashford up there. I don't mind any of those 2 if Sancho's going to be playing off the left. I think we'll have enough to play well. We should have enough now to have a blend of the right team and the right type of players mix. Casemiro's defensive midfielder. McTominay and Fred were not even defensive midfielders. They were both asked to play there. None of them are actually defensive midfielders. So that fixes a problem all in all. Straight away, you got someone who's played that position, who's a world-class winner in that position. You've now got an out-and-out winger finally on the right, which is going to open up loads of things because you just put him on his own and then he'll open up. He'll take someone on, take them out of the game completely. And now you've got overloads. And when you create overloads in a team, you're going to create other chances off of that on its own. So now, you know, like when you don't have one of them players in the team, you can't open things up. When people come all tight on you, you just have to play it back. Every good team has one of those players or more. You guys are looking strong because you got Saka on one side, Martinelli on the other. They both can tear you up one-on-one. Now you got Jesus in the middle, who's an absolute king up front. And now you've got 3 players all up front. And all of a sudden, your team looks unbelievable. Everybody knows their job. They can all do their job. And it just looks like poetry in motion when I'm watching them at the moment. And I'm like, bloody hell. We got a job on our hands. We're a little bit away from that at the moment because we haven't played the games yet. But I expect us in 1 year to 2 years to be able to get somewhere close to that kind of football. If we had De Jong added to this mix, I might be saying this year it'd be ready. But we can't get De Jong. So we're not going to be able to get him in. He would be the change for Fred. And then I think we would have a completely different looking side. But anyway, yeah.
Jerome, based off what you've seen at Arsenal and the rifts that start to happen in the squad, do you see any problems with Man United going forward with having still a strong nucleus of what they've had for the last 2 or 3 seasons, where there have been problems with the mentality of some of the players?
No, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know too much about how things are internally at United. But this new manager, from what I've seen of him, he seems like he doesn't sort of take no prisoners. So I think he'll change things if like you said, there are people with bad attitude. I think I don't know about his attitude, but it looks as though Ronaldo probably won't be there. Obviously, he's probably got quite a big influence. I mean, he's such a footballing legend, isn't he? So he's just got a big influence probably there. But no, I think when you're a United manager, you deal with like these types of people that have been bought for big money. So I don't think that'd be a problem. I think it's just a footballing thing. I don't think it'll be a mentality thing. I don't think the manager will allow it from what I've seen of him.
All right. Garth, you've seen in recent years Arsenal have released players like Aubameyang, Ozil, Socrates, Mustafi, the list goes on. Is there a part of you that thinks Man United should get on board with that, or is it suicidal with regards to finances, business?
Well, I mean, listen, business decisions don't interest me when it comes to football decisions, and that's what Man United's problem's been for a long, long time. That no one's buying these players because of the wages they're on. Got to get rid. And coming back just to what you asked a minute ago, Keir, the problem for me, and I'll get some flack here, Solskjaer being too buddy, his man management was not tough enough, and that allowed these big-headed egos to take over the dressing room, to take over decisions. What Jerome said is entirely right. Ten Hag won't allow that. So Shaw and Maguire, like that, they will find very quickly that their circle starts depleting, where Ten Hag's influence takes over and more players come onto that. Plus, if we're winning, then no one's got anything to say. You're just being salty because you're on the bench, mate. You know what I mean? So no, I have to agree entirely. I cannot see, I hope not anyway, that sort of influence will come back at Man United. But yeah, back onto the original. Yeah, I think we should let Ronaldo go immediately. I know Joel Glazer's saying he won't, but I just think we should Aubameyang him like straight up, pay him 7 mil, 8 mil, let him go. Just go.
So, what's your take on the rumours that Chelsea came in for Maguire and Man United turned it down?
Well, that's the first I've just heard of that one, mate. And if that's true, I'm gobsmacked. Like, what sort of money were they talking about? Do you know any, like 30, 40 mil for him?
Who knows?
Yeah, no, that's madness, man. That's madness.
No,
I mean,
they did make an inquiry. There was definitely an inquiry.
Yeah,
they just said no. They just threw it. They said we're not selling him.
I want to know whose decision that was. If it was Ten Hag's, decision, then I back it completely. But if it was another business decision, absolutely not. Nonsense talk. We've got enough centre backs there. You know what I mean? You could have kept Bailly instead of sending him on loan. Lindelof, Phil Jones, Varane, Martinez. Let him go. He has not had a good time at Man United. It must be so depressing for Maguire himself, you know what I mean? Knowing that he is in a lot of people's minds, the reason Man United are so bad. So let him go, mate. Yeah, let him go. Like Man United, all of a sudden, like I don't know if it's a money thing, but they're like becoming like hoarders almost. Like they just no one ever leaves Man United. We like Pereira only left this summer. You know what I mean? The geezer's been on loan for like 6 years. The poor geezer. So definitely, what you said, Keir, I would 100% start letting some of these boys go on a free as well. Just let them go if you can't.
Like they get new deals if they play badly, innit?
Yeah. Well, like Phil Jones, didn't it? Like madness, giving him a 5-year deal when he's been injured for 4 years. You know what I mean? You give him a 1 year rolling, don't you? If you want to show him a bit of appreciation for his loyalty, you give him a 1 year rolling, you know, or pay as you play deal or something. You know what I mean? So honestly, we need to get rid of. I don't want to call him Deadwood. That's very unfair. We had a lot of trouble last year. You know what I mean? Managers coming and going with Ralph Ragnick, different systems. As we keep saying, 5 different managers worth of players there. So But no. We need to just shift out some of what we don't need anymore.
I think they'll get rid of him next year. I think they'll get rid of Maguire next year, because I think if you got rid of him this year, I don't know, what you both think, but if you got rid of him this year, I think you're short. Because from all the accounts I can get, that what I'm hearing is that Maguire is in front of Lindelof, right? So if he goes and one of your backs get injured, who's going to replace? You've got to buy another centre half.
Well, no, this is before Bailly. That's what I'm saying. You keep Bailly. You've got Lindelof.
Bailly's gone.
That's what I'm saying before, though. The bid come in before. So you keep Bailly. You don't get rid of Bailly. You keep Lindelof.
Exactly.
You keep Phil Jones. You've got Martinez. You've got Varane. And you've got Tended Mengi. That's 6 centre-backs, mate. So that's not short.
Let's get it
But you'd
straight.
obviously
If
decide
they
if
really
you
wanted to get rid of Maguire, they could have got him out. Like if there was a choice between we've got 3 centre backs and we need to choose whether we're going to keep Maguire, Lindelof, or Bailly, they could have gone and offered Maguire out, but they didn't. They weren't offering Maguire at that time.
They obviously would have rather have got rid of. I know Nathan, they would have heard this, but they obviously Ten Hag would have rather have got rid of Bailly because a bid came in for Maguire. So
well, that's what I'm hoping. If it's a Ten Hag decision, I'm on board with
it.
If it's a business decision coming from Joel Glazer, I'm not happy. So
I'm not on board with it at all, no matter what its decision, because I just want the best players playing at United that can handle playing one-on-one. So now, if you get an injury to Varane or Martinez, we're back to struggling defense again. So we could choose to play Tuanzebe, who I'd rather even put in there than flipping Maguire. I'd rather put Mengi in there than Maguire. I'd rather put Lindelof in Maguire. He's just got a bit more pace and a bit more agility to be able to handle players coming at him. And you've got to be able to do that. And, man, if you can't do that, you shouldn't be playing at the squad. That's as simple as that. He's the only real player that can't really do his job on his own. Every other player can really do their job on their own, but sometimes don't play well. And I don't think anybody is throwing one in. Like, I don't think people are not trying. I think certain people are just built a certain way, like Shaw. He doesn't go 100% because that's just the way he's built. He's never gone 100%.
I've had this problem with Shaw, as you probably know, for a long time. Yeah, and I cannot get on board with players who are not putting it in. For me, that is you're not as good. That we know so many players that had the talent, were great footballers, but when it came to the application, didn't put it in. And if you're not putting it in,
to be fair, you're right.
That's marks down. That's marks down. Because it's even more frustrating. Go on.
Yeah, my son said we were watching the match together, and he came out with it straight on his own. Malacia lost the ball, and he sprinted back and won the ball back and tried to play it to Eriksen. And my son said, that was sure he would have never ran back. Yeah. He would have never ran back hard to get that ball back. He would have ran back at 3/4 pace, and they would have crossed the ball in.
I knew Malacia was the right guy when I saw him leap over someone's head in pre-season in that little video. I was like, this is the guy.
That's the energy you want.
No matter what technically he's like, you can work on that. But the energy, the want to be there, that's the kid. That's the guy. Because he will give blood, sweat, and tears to play for Man United, and that's what every fan wants. They want to see that they are putting the same effort in as you would put in if you was to stick on a shirt. That's all fans ask for. Yeah. And when Shaw ain't doing that, that's a kick in the teeth. Yeah. I don't even support United, and I'm like, I can't deal with this guy. I really can't deal with this guy. It's stressing me out. We talk about title challenges, Jerome. How far? We'll ask Arsenal first, then we'll get to Man United. Don't worry, I'll come to you next, Steve. Jerome, how do Arsenal reduce this gap between with Man City? Forget Liverpool. I'm not even talking about them. It's Man City. How do Arsenal reduce this gap?
Pray, I think. I think as long as Guardiola's at Man City, it's just going to be the most uphill of uphill battles. I think they're just so far ahead of the rest. They're basically playing in a different league, aren't they? So to close the gap, you need like basically to rely on Man City to just absolutely crumble, and for I can't see it. I basically can't see it until Pep leaves. But even if Pep does leave, they've still got, they've just bought Haaland. He could stick around for 10 years. He's a monster. That is one monster of a striker. He's one of them strikers that can do nothing throughout a game, gets one chance, bosh, goal. I think he'll walk the golden boot this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's very tough. I don't think that, look, ideally in an ideal world, you'd probably say, yeah, aim to win the league, but realistically, that's not where you're. It's not realistic. So as much as it pains me to say, at the moment, we're years away from winning the league, and especially with our young squad. Maybe in a few years we keep some of these players, they will peak at the same time. Then maybe we'll have half a chance, but in my mind, it's just a million miles away, unfortunately.
Right, Mr. Pessimist over here. Steve? Steve, how do Arsenal close that gap on Manchester City, and how far do you think they're off?
I don't think we're that far off. No, I don't think that. I'm not going to say that we're going to win it, and we're better than Liverpool, and we're better than Man City. It all depends how much the owners are going to back Arteta. But I've seen continuous improvement. If I look at it from when Arteta came in 3 years ago, and I look at it, on the conveyor belt that he's been on since he's came to the club, I've been seeing it rise quite sharply, to the degree where, even though it's after 4 games, we're sitting at the top of the league. And I know we haven't played anyone yet, but it's not about that. Every game's an hard game in the Premier League. But
Crystal Palace, I'm not having that. Crystal Palace is a tough game.
That's right. Every game's an hard game. It is. Every game's not. So look at it from the team. I still think we're short in midfield. I tell you what, I go as far. I love partying Xhaka. You know how I go on about Xhaka, and so does Garth. Right?
Liability.
Right. But if we had an Alcantara and a De Bruyne, say, there in them 2 places, I'm looking at the beginning of the season. I'm saying, yeah, we can win the league. That's 2 players. When you look at how Martinelli's, the way he's going, he could be absolutely anything. He's on the verge, not verge of world class now, but he's on that conveyor belt. Saka's the same. Martin Odegaard, arguably the best player of the season so far in the Premier League, I'd say. We've been giving him 9s out of 10s every week. The defence, I think we may have to add to, but we've got Zinchenko and Ben White. I think we're about 3 players away, and then I think we can challenge. I'm looking at Liverpool this season. All right, they thrashed Bournemouth 9-0 last week, but I can see faults in their game. I can see that they're not right. I see an ageing midfield. I see Mane gone. I see Núñez, who we're still not really sure about. I've seen them struggle this season. Man City, I'm seeing let goals in left, right, and centre. Yes, they've got Haaland. They better keep Haaland fit. Otherwise, the Gunners are on their tail. I'm telling you.
But seriously,
Pep don't play with a striker. He don't need a striker.
True.
And just putting it out there, Haaland's been the best player so far in the league. Boost.
Tongue in cheek. That was tongue in cheek.
He's been the best goal scorer for sure, but not.
But Chelsea and Tottenham.
That's what he's there to do.
Yeah, we can take Chelsea and Tottenham all day long. I don't know what people keep going on about them for. They're losing tonight. They've struggled in the week.
True.
I don't fancy them. I think we could easily get 3rd place this season. Easily. And going in 2-3 years' time, if we're back, like I said, if the right players are brought in, the same type of players that we're getting now, the Jesus, the Zinchenko's, we've got players like Tierney on the bench, Vieira on the bench, Tommy Asu on the bench. Our bench now, is very, very good. And we've not finished this window. You know, we're still expecting another 2 to come in. So I'm not as, you know, I wouldn't say negative, Jerome, but I'm just a little bit more think that we're not that far away, just due to the way that we've been going over the last few years and where we are now. And the big thing is our young players who just fell away last season, right, are sort of grown up now. That won't happen again. And they've got leaders and winners with Zinchenko, Jesus around them now, and they're going to improve as well. So yeah, not far away. If we was challenging next year, 2 years, I wouldn't be surprised. Look, Leicester won it, didn't they?
Steve,
All right.
Yes, come on.
Steven's got a message for you.
We're not Leicester. Nath, how do Man United close the gap? And how far are they off of challenges for the title?
United ain't close to challenger for a title for a few years yet. We need to really establish our way of playing week in, week out. We need to start being able to control games against, especially the lower teams. We're not able to do that yet. Until we can do that, we're nowhere near able to sustain any kind of title challenge whatsoever. We're bringing in the right players, going in the right direction, but I can't see us. You know, it's going to be at the moment like them seasons where your Liverpools will lose the games we're expected to win sometimes, and then we'll beat some teams we're expected to lose, and then we'll be somewhere in between there where we're like 5th, 6th, 7th maybe this year. But once we've got, it might surprise us. We might actually just fall into place and start playing well with the players we've got now. But I can't see it happening because I'm currently seeing that we just can't control games for some reason or another. I don't know what the reason is, but I'll have to figure it out later. Now, when it comes to you guys, I've got to say I agree quite a bit with what Steve says, because I do see Arsenal playing a great brand of football at the moment. They haven't really got the depth, number one, though, to mount challenge. So they might come third. I don't know if they'll come second, but I think they'll probably come third from what I'm seeing at the moment. But you'll be way off Arsenal, Man City, like many points off City. You're not going to be close. Even if you were second, you're not going to be anywhere near being able to go to last even month, thinking that you're going to maybe pip Man City. Man City in a league of their own, and now they've made it even further away with Haaland. But you guys, I'm telling you now, I used to love watching Arsenal, after Man United. And only this season, I'm seeing the same football that I want to see from Arsenal. I ain't an Arsenal supporter now, but if I'm watching football on the telly, sometimes I put other teams on. The only other team that I'm really interested in watching is Arsenal at the moment because they're looking so good. And that's because Arteta's got them playing a kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, like a poor man's version of City. And it's not even
Whoa.
No. He's doing exactly what he did.
Eject.
No,
he has. Eject.
No, because it's not.
Is he not playing the same kind of football?
No, because it's no. I say this because there's other teams that play a style like Man City play, and it's not. But Arsenal are not playing in the Man City style. Arsenal are doing it in a different way, and that's why I say it's not a poor Man City. It's different.
No, it looks like it to me because you've got great wingers, and then you can bring on other great wingers, and the same thing. It looks like you're constructing the side based on what he was learning before and the type of stuff he came.
No doubt.
He's got his own thing, but a lot of it has come from obviously learning a lot from Guardiola. And,
definitely.
There's no shame in that.
No, it's not shame. It's just it's different. It's different. I watch Man City. And Man City are very regimental in their way. That it's to hear. It's like a game of chess. Man City.
Not exciting to watch, is it?
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's brilliant. Yeah. Sometimes it's like you're in awe of it. But then sometimes it's like this is a bit sterile. Yeah. And I'm not I'm not. This is no slight on Man City. I'm just saying that Arsenal's is different because it's not. I don't know whether that's what he's eventually trying to go for, and we're not as disciplined or regimental like City. I hope it's not because I like the way where it's a bit more freedom to the play with Arsenal. That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
There's resemblance, though.
You triggered some Arsenal fans here, Nath. You've triggered some Arsenal fans.
They play in. Sometimes they play in moments, don't they? City play in moments in like bang, 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 and then they won't do nothing for the.
Sometimes watching City, it's like watching like an Italian game where it's very quiet, and then all of a sudden, bosh, they've scored 3 goals, game over.
Yeah,
and then they just keep it tight. Like Man City, they're a different animal. They're 100% a different animal. Garth, how far are Man United, and what do they need to do?
What, from Man City? Because we're not talking about third place here. I don't want to be like that. There's nothing. Man City a million miles away. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you asking from winning the league or from getting top 4? Because if it's winning the league, a million miles away.
What if you had another window like this window, Garth?
No, mate. I was going to get into that. Like you're saying, like you need a De Bruyne, but like that's
that level. Is there, Garth?
There's no player. There's no player out there. Yeah, you're living in a dreamland, mate. You're living in a dreamland. Like
anyone you want.
Yeah.
Like, I'm asking you about Man United.
Yeah, Man United. No, nowhere near it. Nowhere near it, mate.
And what do they have to do to close that gap?
I mean, I'm on Jerome's wavelength here, mate. I don't know. It's Man City. They're a phenomenal beast of a team. They're a juggernaut, mate. How you slow that down, I don't know. Like, Man United can get better and better every year. They can get players in. The system can get better. But Man City is still going to be Man City. Is
that just Pep, or is that the finances, or is it both?
Finances, yeah, it's both. It's 100% both. Obviously, Pep can't be who Pep is without the finances behind him, mate. 100%. But like you're talking Man City, they've got players like Riyad Mahrez. He's played like 3 minutes this season or something. You know what I mean? He's one of the best wingers in the like. You can't compete with that. The money. This is what I mean. I think Newcastle might like if they do with Man City in 5-6 years' time. You talk about Newcastle more than you talk about Arsenal or Man United. You really are.
You genuinely think that
Man City? Sorry.
No, wait. The gap that Newcastle have to pull reduce to Man City. You think that Newcastle got more chance of reducing that gap than Man United or Arsenal?
Well, let me just say, where were Man City? Where were Man City before Mansour took them over? Nowhere. They were in Newcastle's position. It took them 5 years. Now they're the best team in the world almost. So what I'm saying is, it's a possibility because Man United and Arsenal don't act like that. Like Man United got more chance than Arsenal. I'm sorry to say 100% because of the money that we spend compared to you boys. Yeah. But it's becoming American football. It's who can spend the most money. And Newcastle have got the third richest man in the world as their owner. Like literally. Like apparently Man City's like 13 bill, and like Newcastle's 430 bill their owners are worth or something. So like I'm not saying that I'm not saying
a certain time when they can't spend all of that. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Oh mate, we always say that. Man City get away with it every year.
You genuinely think that Newcastle are gonna have more chance than Man United of closing that gap on Man City?
If they do it properly, like Man City,
I think they'll catch us.
But you can say that about Arsenal and Man United.
No, because we haven't got the money. We haven't got the money. This is what I'm saying. It comes down to the money with Newcastle. No, if they go out, invest properly, get in a manager like Pep, who's out there, whoever the next upcoming manager is in the next few years, get him in, and then they invest properly in the squad like Man City have done. Yeah, I could easily see that. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but because they may not invest properly. But yeah, it's a money market out there. You know, if Newcastle, just say Newcastle go up, they finish 6th this year, 4th next year, they're in Champions League. They get Champions League football. They can have whoever they want. They can pay whoever they want. Yeah,
they'll be top 10 this year. Newcastle 9th, 8th.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they will do that. I'm just saying that they've got a better chance of doing it than Man United or Arsenal have because of their funds. Now, Man United Arsenal could do it because I respect Arteta a lot. I think he's a good manager. I still think your squad is proper weak. Like outside John's first 11, I don't see where the depth is at all in your squad. I was just looking at your team sheet now. Like, there's no depth there. Man United's got better depth. So, yeah. But again, like I don't see anyone coming close to Man City in the next few years. Like not with Haaland in there now. Haaland, I said to you, Nate, didn't I, after the Charity Shield? I know he didn't score, but I was like, that is out and out the best centre forward I've seen since Ruben Nistelrooy. Like, period. He is going to be a bags man in this league. He is just going to put, and what you said, Keir, about how the way Man City play, they do nothing for 20 minutes and then they score 3 goals. Yeah, that's going to be Haaland. Just banging them in left, right, and centre. They've got the best team in the world.
He'll be banging 3. He'll probably score the most hat-tricks this season.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that cut and dry. I think look, it's easy to say with Man City spending power and whatnot that yes, this is a team that's unstoppable. But like they've been caught by Liverpool previously, only a point off. Twice. Come on, twice.
Yeah, but
Twice.
how many points?
Twice. They won it once, and they were a point off last season. So we're counting those times as twice. That's twice, Garth. Come on.
That's like,
Yeah.
Well, I thought we were talking about winning the league, but yeah, all right, fair enough. But
They were 1 point off.
it's
We're
a-
talking
They
about
didn't win the
close
league.
to that. How can we be
Man United with 1 goal
Be
off.
pedantic all we want, yeah, but we're talking about closing the gap, yeah. And if you're 1 point off, it's 1 point off, yeah.
Well, then I think we're that far behind Liverpool as well. Then
Yeah, but Liverpool lost Mane and they're falling apart. They've gone and tried to buy a striker and it just ain't working right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if that doesn't work, then Liverpool have got £100 million striker that they now need to once either get off the books or turn right. And in what I've seen of Liverpool, they're just going to keep on double down on trying to make him right and not bring in another striker because they just don't have that finance to play with.
Yeah.
They've got an aging midfield that they can't seem to get right because they don't really want to spend that money and get a Jude Bellingham because that's the price that it's going to cost, or the player that they want, and that's the price going to cost around 100 million. However, if you've seen it in recent years, there are players at Man City that want to go. Mahrez has had his head turned by Barcelona. Bernardo Silva has already agreed personal terms with Barcelona, and Guardiola allowed that deal to be sanctioned. So it only takes a couple of them moves and the wrong one for that to be that gap to be reduced. Whether
But
Man
for
City
how
will
long?
do that or not.
like for how long?
Mate.
Like you say that happens. One season happens. Pep Guardiola goes out and spends 250 million next season, and Man City are right back where they were before.
Yeah, the only
They can't
thing
keep
is-
spending that money though. They're
that's-
not allowed
that's what I was
to.
about to say.
They
Man
can't.
City,
They can't do that.
they can't.
Says who? Like
They
we keep
can't.
saying this, but they keep doing it.
But they're not.
No, they can't.
But they're not. The last season they spent 100 million and bought one player,
Yeah,
Jack Grealish. This
And he ain't
that's
done nothing.
100. That's 100 million on one player. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
yeah, but why does that? Okay, but they bought one player in, and that player
They
didn't
need
really
anyone
work.
else.
They spent
Like-
100 mil on a squad player, mate. On a squad player. Rotation.
It does take in the mix, to be fair.
Yeah.
This is
But
what
they
I'm
can't
saying,
keep spending that. They can't. They won't be able to. They keep spending that money.
Why? What happens to them if they do keep spending that money?
Yeah, they got enough.
Yeah,
Financial
they've
fair
already-
play.
They
that
already got
doesn't
pulled in,
exist.
but they
That
already
doesn't
got
It's like with
pulled in.
Chelsea. Chelsea can't, can they? Chelsea was stopped.
No,
a
but
couple of
with the
years ago.
Sheikh Mansour thing, isn't it like unless they get caught doing dodgy deals, they can just keep underwriting, putting different getting investors in from here, getting
No, but
investors in
that's
from
what
there.
that's what they got in trouble for before, didn't they?
What
That's
trouble
what
they
they
get
got taken
into?
to court.
What actually happened to them? They got off.
Yeah, but that was a you got off, but you do it again, you're in trouble. That wasn't a complete get off. Like Man City didn't completely get away with that. Definitely not. Definitely not.
It feels like they did.
Kyle
from the outside.
Walker, he's done, isn't he? Kyle Walker's done now and all.
Yeah,
You know, they've right. They've got.
yeah.
Why is Kyle
It's-
Walker done?
Yeah, I don't know, yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
it's the
lost pace.
replace-
What happened?
it's the
What's wrong with
replacing
him?
that I think they're going to have some issues with personally.
What you think Kyle Walker's done? Like, not that good anymore.
I think they'd replace him. I think they've got to replace him soon. I think they have to. They have to. He's lost a bit of pace in the back there. I mean, they're leaking goals as well from that left-hand side when, on his right. But I've watched City, and he gets caught, but he's losing pace. He must be in his 30s now, mustn't he, Kyle Walker?
Yeah,
Surely.
It'll be interesting to see how Man City make their next transition I thought Liverpool were doing it really well when they brought in Diaz, Jota.
Yeah.
I'm looking at that and thinking, flipping hell, Liverpool are going to be doing this for another 10 years. They're not going to be. They lost
They will.
Mane, and that's a big chink in their armour.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was going to affect them losing Mane. To be fair,
Yeah.
and listen,
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from now, Keir. The greatest thing that Alex Ferguson could do was rebuild teams after he had a great team that fell apart. But I still think Man City with their spending power can do it so easily. They just go out and get whoever they want. And yeah, like financial fair play, I don't see it ever have affected anyone. Period. That spend this sort of money. So
Yeah.
Guys,
I
guys,
think.
is my internet that bad? Yeah.
That's terrible, Nate. It's terrible, Nate. I'm still waiting for your response from the question I asked earlier. I just had to put you on mute. Yeah, you're getting absolutely blasted here. Nathan's Wi-Fi is so laggy. It's like Spurs fans standing in the Seven Sisters waiting for her. Brilliant. Love that one. Absolutely brilliant there, Johnny. That's quite.
Oh, what am I doing?
It's time that Arsenal and Man United got back on top of the tree again, because we're the two biggest clubs. So, it's about time we did something. And our owners have got to back up. And I think they can do it. I think they can do it. I think they can do it.
I don't want to say Arsenal fans here, but you're not one of the two biggest clubs in England, mate. That's Man United and Liverpool.
Yeah.
I was trying to big you up.
And I was trying to put you down.
Please don't waste your
But
time.
we're the three biggest clubs. Third biggest club, aren't we? Top three clubs.
Got to win a
Eight,
European
Chelsea,
Cup. You've got to win a European Cup.
Get away
Japan
doing
is one of
this.
the biggest teams in the world,
Get
I'm
away
afraid,
doing
mate.
this.
Got to.
Was he just changed, Dave? All right, let's get to the preview. Man United versus Arsenal. Big game this weekend. All right. Nath. Garth. Starting lineup. What do you think your starting lineup's going to be? Nath, come with the goalkeeper. Who's in goal? David De Gea.
Yeah.
Go on, you did the defence, Nath.
Malacia, Martinez, Varane, hello. All day. Garth agrees.
So Garth, you was quite critical of Martinez in his first 2 games. What's your thoughts now?
Mate, I'm humble pie in that one, mate. Someone can bake it for me, send it to me. Whoever wants me to apologise for disparaging Martinez and his height, hands up. I got that wrong, mate. Well wrong. Same with Timber. I didn't think they could cope in this league. The last 2 games have proven me very wrong. Now, listen, Liverpool and Southampton are different to a Brentford, where they're pumping balls down your throat. But Martinez has looked well assured in the last 2 games. So
do you think he'd have any problems dealing with that now that you know that he might be targeted the same way that David De Gea did when he first joined Man United?
Yeah, no. I think Ten Hag's, like the systems like Ten Hag's working is going to stop that from happening. You see Varane's covering, but to be fair, I mean, he won all of his aerial duels against Southampton, didn't he? And most of them against Liverpool. Like, he's got a way of getting in front or elbowing him out of the way. He will still get done time to time. The height will be an issue here and there, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was really worried about it, and I shouldn't have been, because to be quite honest with you, he looks a beast, an absolute beast in that centre back role. So yeah, I apologise to him personally, and to anyone else that I may have been like, you're talking rubbish, mate. He's 5'9". I ain't having it. So yeah, got that well wrong, mate. Well wrong.
That's why Maguire's staying. He's going to take his place.
Yeah, bring him out. Bring him out on the weekend. Bring him out on the weekend. You know
Ten
what I
Hag
mean?
knows.
I'm
Ten
all
Hag knows why he's
starting the
Maguire.
strongest team, and in my eyes, it's Maguire. Central midfield, Garth. Who's going for the midfielders?
Does Casemiro start? I mean, we're going Arsenal going out. It all depends what happens against Leicester. I want to see Casemiro. People are going to find it weird. Casemiro, Fred, and Bruno. I know it sounds weird, no Eriksen, but I think Fred's energy is needed against an Arsenal over Eriksen.
Been impressed with Eriksen since he started?
Yeah. Not. I don't know if I like him at centre midfield like we're playing him. I thought he was coming
pretty deep, isn't he?
Yeah, very deep. I don't like that. But listen, yeah, quite impressed with him for a freebie. Can't ask for more than what he's done, really.
Can I ask just a quick question? Just a quick, for in case I forget it. McTominay's been class last 2 games. Absolute quality. Don't you feel that until he has a bad game, he should be kept in?
No, because he hasn't had a good game. He's had the best that he can do, and Casemiro's come in to take. I don't want to see Casemiro and McTominay Like that, I don't want to see. I know where you're coming from, Steve,
Well,
but McTominay's game
decide-
is so limited. I think Nathan agrees with that, don't you,
yeah,
Nathan?
I was going to say his range of passing is so
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
It's so small. It's a hindrance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the hindrance. Like he's athletic. He boshes it about. He can break up play. But then after that, what really has he got?
No, that's what his job is. That's what he's all about, isn't it? So
Yeah, that's
he
it,
does
yeah.
what he does.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But I'd play Casemiro, Fred, and Eriksen in that game on Saturday because I think
Bruno.
Thursday we're playing Leicester, so I think Bruno should play that one, and I think Eriksen should play the other one. I don't want to see Bruno against Arsenal. More the reason because I want to see us retain the ball more with Casemiro in there, Fred a bit further forward, where he can actually play the way he plays with more energy to get at you guys. So because we do have to also think about what we need off the ball against you guys. You guys have got movement and a lot of it everywhere. You need to have Fred ratting around with Casemiro, and then you want Eriksen who can retain the ball and do bits. So I think those three in that game on the Sunday. I hope that he doesn't use both Eriksen and Bruno for Thursday and Sunday. That'd be a nightmare.
Steve's so disgusted with our McTominay, he's gone. He can't believe it.
And your strike force, Nath.
I'm going with Anthony coming in. If Anthony Martial is fit, I'd play Anthony up front, Sancho on the right, Rashford left. I'm sure he will start with that because he won't bring Anthony straight in. He'll let him get bled in.
Sorry, confusion. You said Anthony, and then so is it Anthony Martial or Anthony?
No, so Martial will play up front if he's fit.
Okay.
With Sancho and Rashford, which we've seen pre-season. If Martial is not fit, I'd expect to see Sancho left, Anthony right, and Rashford up front. I'd expect to see that.
Garth, are you going for up top?
Just for the jokes, I'm going to go Anthony, and Anthony. So that's Elanga, Martial, and Anthony. I'm going.
As well, isn't it?
That's like Kaz. Gabby.
Like, Nate, you just said that you don't want to see Bruno play 2 games in a row. Who's playing against Leicester then? Ronaldo up top. Like,
No.
you're going to play the same strike force up top against Leicester as well then?
Yeah, but they're different players. I don't want to see Eriksen play 2 games in that short space of time.
But this, I don't want to see Eriksen replace Bruno ever. To be quite honest with you, I think Bruno should play every game ahead of Eriksen that he can.
I just think his ball retention. I don't like his ball retention too much, and for that game, I want the ball retention to be better.
So who are you captaining? Who's getting the armband against Arsenal?
I don't care who captain. I want to play.
But yeah, if we've got Anthony by then, I would go Anthony on the right, Sancho on the left, and then if Martial's fit, Martial. If not, Ronaldo.
You're starting Anthony, yeah?
If he's there, yeah, he's a £90 million player. Yeah, he's been playing for Ajax for all of 3 or 4 games already. Yeah, he's fit, he's match fit. Yeah,
managers don't do that though, do they? Managers don't play their new signings. That's why I don't think. I'm not sure.
No, it's what we want. It's what we want.
Oh, right.
Casemiro would have been here 3 games by Arsenal. He should definitely be starting by Arsenal. Like 100%. He what have we bought him for if he ain't starting the big games? And Arsenal is a big game. Like that'd be a madness decision for me. So
yeah.
Jerome,
killing me. Johnny.
Arsenal. Obviously, Ramsdale goal. You starting at the back. This is big decisions for this game.
Yeah, big decision.
Tommy Afu there, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tierney.
Saliba could probably play in defence on his own, couldn't he?
Sorry, can I ask you, Joe? I haven't watched with Arsenal. Has he been that dominant so far, Saliba?
Yeah, unbelievable.
Has he been that good? Has he? Fair play.
Yeah, he's top draw.
I heard he was. Obviously, a lot of my mates Arsenal fans, and they've all been bigging him up. But I thought I'd come to an objective.
Mate, I'm trying to play it down, mate. I'm trying to play it down. This kid's a fucking animal, mate.
Is he that good? Fair play.
Don't tell him their secrets, Jerome.
Fair play.
This kid.
Yeah, trust me, the way you boys have been talking about him, it's no secret.
If this was chat manager, it would be saying the new Virgil van Dijk. That's what he'd be saying. That's what
next Rio Ferdinand.
Next Rio Ferdinand. That's what it'd be saying. It'd be saying the next Rio Ferdinand. Whether they live up to that, we all know that game. But the excitement when you see
Well,
that, mate. That's what it'll be saying. He can play out. He's strong. He's good in the air. Yeah, mate. The geezers. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I watch him every week, and I'm like, someone, mate, can we just sign him up? Can we get this contract signed? Because
12-year contract.
Around. Someone like Barcelona can be sniffing around. I know he's an Arsenal fan, but that don't mean nothing when these other teams come along and they're nibbling the agent's ear. I want that contract signed.
He's so good. This Saliba is so good. The Arsenal fans are singing to him, "Are you Mustafi in disguise?"
I'm gonna leave Mustafi alone, Arsenal fans. He's gone. He's gone. You ain't got...
Jerome, who you got in the back?
Well, if Zinchenko's fit, which we're not too sure about at the moment, I know defensively he's probably not as good as Tierney, but I think we want to have the ball. And if you have,
Nath, why are you rubbing your hands like Zinchenko ain't a baller?
Bring on Anthony against Zinchenko. Bye bye.
Bring it.
Bye bye.
Bring it.
That'd be a lovely first game for him.
Yeah,
very nice. The Ukrainian monster is coming.
Yeah. Bring Anthony on against Zinchenko. Mate, I'll take Anthony against Kieran Tierney.
Hey, please save this. What minute is it?
I'll take it. Anthony, has not been. You're not seeing him one game in the Premier League. You're not seeing him against any English opposition. So
I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
The United front players can do damage to anyone, even if it's a top quality defensive left back. So I don't think you can say we've got to play a defensive left back against United. They could damage anyone because of their pace. So
I'd rather not, because I don't want to be sitting on the back foot. I don't want a defensive centre back. I want, if Kieran Tierney's playing, I want him bombing down that left, and I want him making their defenders, their right back, think. I don't want that right back cheating. I don't want him up and down the flanks. I want Dalot. That's his main trait is going forward. Yeah. You want Dalot defending. So you want Kieran Tierney pushing forward and whipping in balls. And if it's Zinchenko, you're in trouble. Because that geezer is a menace. He's not even a left back. He's a left back centre midfielder. He plays. He plays some hybrid position.
That's not a good thing.
It's just ridiculous.
I see where Nathan's coming from. That's not a good thing to be like, he ain't a left back, and then Anthony comes and just tears him up.
You're taking my words out of context. He is not playing. He doesn't play as a left back. He plays he's a left back. But he takes up positions in midfield, which creates space and gives us an extra position in midfield. He's different. He's different.
Please, please
anyone I see.
Press us and overlap. Please press us and overlap.
I tell you what, it sounds like
we haven't got an organisation, Nate. You ain't there yet.
If we both play like we've been playing, it's going to be an open game by the sounds of things.
Yeah, there'll be loads of goals.
Maybe sometime next season. Maybe sometime next season. But you ain't got that discipline yet. You ain't there.
All right, we did it against Liverpool.
You ain't there. Liverpool, that team was rubbish, that Liverpool team they put out. Terrible. That team was a completely different team that won 9-0. And they won against Bournemouth.
All right.
Bournemouth, let's see. Bournemouth. Are we gassing up against Bournemouth? Are we getting hyped against Bournemouth?
Oh, come on. Any 9-0 is a hype situation.
It's the same Liverpool team. It's the same Liverpool team.
That's a freak result.
That drop points
Man,
against Fulham. Twice. Same Liverpool team that dropped points against Fulham. Mitrovic was against Arsenal the other day. Huh?
Yeah, after you beat them, yeah. But they got a penalty against it. So
we beat them.
Mitrovic still bagged against you.
We beat them. This Liverpool team has lost to Man United after they got spanked 4-0 against Brentford. They dropped points against Crystal Palace and they dropped points against Fulham. Yes, they won 9-0 against Bournemouth, but I'm not excited by that.
I mean, there's a little harsh. That is any 9-0 win is.
I could be harsh all I want. I've been hearing the tone that you've been coming at you lot, so I could be as harsh as I like. Yeah,
it's the record score in the Premier League. Come on, you know what I mean? Like you literally.
Terrible Bournemouth team. Bought in 2 free transfers and paid combined 20, not even 25 million for 2 players. That team is already down. They're already relegated.
Yeah.
Steve, centre midfield or midfield in general. That goes wingers, midfielders.
Well, if everybody's fit, which I don't know if we go in that is Party fit.
Don't think he. I don't know. It's going to be a late one. There's definitely no El Nene. I know that.
Well,
He's
definitely
out
no
for
El Nene. Yeah. Well,
Quite a
I think Party will play. I think he'll play. I think he'll play. He may not play tomorrow, but I think he'll play against Man United. I think they'll save him. They'll save him to give Casemiro. He's a very, very, very memorable first game in the Premiership, I think, and
it'll be his third game by then. He's already played one. He's already had his debut. He'll have Leicester.
Did he play the other day?
Yeah, he came on for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. He was all right. Party Xhaka. Then it'll be. Are you saying you want me to do the midfield and the wingers? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all of them, isn't it? Odegaard, obviously, been on fire this season. United are going to have to watch him. He's been incredible. And Martinelli on the left, and Saka on the right.
Jerome, are you making any changes to the front three?
Nah, I wouldn't change any of those. Nah, unless there's
Starting
any
with
injuries.
Saka, Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dropped Jesus, man. I won't.
That's so right. He only got me 1 point in the fantasy.
Yeah, you know, that's what I was just about to say.
Toilet.
I'm dropping Salah
Rubbish.
as well. 3 points in a 9-0 win. You're having me on, mate. You're having me on, bruv.
Nketiah needs to play that game.
And that was his captain as well, wasn't it?
No, 3 points. I triple captained him, didn't I, like a nutter? Because I knew they were going to smash up Bournemouth. So I was like, he's going to get a couple. Triple captain. 3 points, mate. 3 points.
So he got 1 point.
No, he got 3 points for the game. That's where he got 9 points.
I did the same, didn't I? I did the same. I put triple captain Jesus as well. So I only got 3 points and all.
3 points for him.
Yeah.
I had Trent and Mitrovic on it.
Oh, look at it.
Still got the most points for the week.
And where you sitting in the league, Dave? Come on, announce that to everyone as well while we're here. So did I. I should have called my team. I also started 1 week late, Mr. Nathan Ellerton. That's what I should call my. I'm going to rename it. I also started 1 week late, Nathan.
Didn't start 1 week late, Steve.
And I'm still 2 places above you.
Points already.
Huh?
Yeah, you did. You did join late. Yeah, you did.
Points for the first week. I didn't get any points for that week.
Yeah, but you come in with your points, didn't you, kids?
No.
The Transfer Exchange Show team started on week 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Same as you, Nate. Same as you.
We're in our own league, Nate, and I'm currently sitting top.
Oh, mate, you ain't, because my team's so poor. You ain't that far behind me, so I'll join your league, yeah. So I can be on top of something.
I still think you should be playing McTominay. You still should be playing McTominay against Arsenal. I don't. Ferguson did all that all the time.
Do.
Yeah.
No, you should. You should. You beat us last time at Old Trafford with McTominay in the side. Yeah, playing against Xhaka, playing against Party.
Yeah, but
Casemiro might not. Casemiro might come in. It might be. I'm not saying it's too big a game. Obviously, he's done there, been there, got the T-shirt. But this is Arsenal, Man United in the Premier League. This is going to be something like he's not experienced before.
He's done Real Madrid, Barcelona.
I'm telling you.
That don't bother Casemiro, Man United, Arsenal.
Alex Ferguson did it all the time. Darren Fletcher, Anderson, McTominay.
Yeah, but no, it's completely. Do you remember the game last time we played Man United? When Arsenal played Man United, it was like the opposite. When we beat them, it was very close. They could have quite easily taken the points. When they beat us, it was the other way around because we were 2 back-to-back games against Everton where we shouldn't have dropped points against Man United away from home. They were not good, and we were much better. But we did not take any chances. At that point we were poor because that's when Thomas Partey. That's when Thomas Partey had a good game.
You're right. Yeah. Yeah,
I would never play Scott McTominay over Casemiro in a million years. You're talking about the greatest, apparently, one of the best defensive midfielders in world football today. And then talking about Scott McTominay, who plays centre back.
Who did Ferguson drop when he used to play Darren Fletcher? When you used to have who was your first 11? And you're
talking Keenan's goals.
Who
Yeah,
did he used to drop?
no,
Keane's gone.
Skulls.
Keane's long gone.
Skulls.
No,
But even
Skulls.
Paul
then-
Skulls.
Fletcher is
No, no, no.
2006, 2008. Keane is
Yeah,
gone.
no.
Fletcher
Even,
was actually a
Paul
first
Scholes.
team starter.
yeah, even then as well, Park, and he was an absolute menace
another-
to
yeah.
Arsenal.
Yeah, but you're talking
But he
about
was a
players.
quality player.
Yeah, you're talking about players that are nowhere near. Like McTominay's nowhere near a Darren Fletcher. He's nowhere near a Park Ji-sung. Like
Yeah, he's
you're
not.
using a poor example because he's nowhere. Like he's nowhere near that player. Them sort of players. He's,
No, I weren't comparing Scott McTominay to Park Ji-sung. No way.
No,
like,
no.
like he's nowhere near
No,
that.
no
He is
way.
so like.
I'm not comparing them. I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that's who you had.
Yeah, that's who we had, but that's what I'm saying. But Steve was saying like that's what Fergie used to do. Yeah, we don't have that option because he's Scott McTominay. Like over Casemiro, no, never, like never.
Yeah,
But
I-
I see him play against Liverpool with Henderson and that mob, and he
and he didn't do very.
and he done
He was
really
all right.
well.
No, he done
Yeah, he
all
done
right.
good.
He didn't. Like your thing. Listen, Steve, your thing. Just because he boshed it about a bit, put in a few challenges, he played well. No, he played a 6.5. He done all right, but he still has got no progressive passing in
How
him,
did,
no
how did
progressive
Casemiro
movement.
look when he came on the other day?
Mate, the first Nath will tell you this. The first
What?
pass he played. Oh my god, me and Nath were talking about it. In the, like Scott McTominay hasn't got that in his game. Just hasn't got it. A progressive forward pass that cuts through players hasn't got it. Period.
Yeah,
All he
got it.
like
It's
is
straight away.
side to side passing.
But why do you need a player like that in that type of game? You don't need that type of player.
What, without
we-
front
we
three,
do.
Steve? Without front
do.
three, they're all
No, you
about
don't.
running off the shoulder.
Because you need
Right, don't
someone.
do that.
You need someone who's going to win the ball and then break through the lines quickly.
Yeah, without strike force, so
On the
100% you need
counter.
that. Yeah, quick balls
Yeah.
straight forward, cutting out midfielders and
What-
defenders.
yeah,
That's
So
exactly- Exactly what he
why did Ten Hag playing against Liverpool then? One of the best teams in the country.
Because Casemiro had just turned up, like literally that day. That
So
day.
is he that? So if
Casemiro
Casemiro wasn't there, so if Casemiro wasn't there,
Wasn't available.
McTominay would play again on Sunday.
Yeah, but
Casemiro
that's
wasn't
'cause
Yeah,
available.
there you
Casemiro
go.
ain't
He can't
there.
be that bad, can he?
What? That
He's
is
the
the
only
worst
player
example
he
of
can
all time, Steve. Like, yeah, just like he's really good, but he ain't there. So this rubbish player, he can't be that bad because you've got no other option. Nonsense
No.
talk, mate.
The
Nonsense.
argument.
Yeah,
There ain't no one else we can play in there.
yeah. That's not-
And Casemiro
no.
just came for Southampton game.
Yeah.
He's not
I think
gonna
he get. I
start
think he
there.
gets unfair stick, McTominay. That's all. And
No,
I ain't
he's
got.
done
yeah.
all right. He's done
He does
all
all
right.
I think
yeah.
he does. I think he does. I know. I just feel like when I watch him play, and then I see people have a go at him, and I think, "What are you having a go at him for?" He's not great. I'm not saying he's better than Casemiro. I'm saying for the one game against Arsenal in what is going to be a Premier League absolute, probably one of those rough and tough games where it ain't going to be pretty. I don't know. It's just
Casemiro ain't pretty.
No,
He's not a
mate,
pretty player. And I think that's the difference of why they went for Casemiro and stopped the nonsense with De Jong.
I never
Because
thought
they
I would.
need
I never thought I
something
would be treated like
to
this
back up.
after bigging up a Man United player. Well, that's okay.
I don't know why, Steve. We're not Man United versus Arsenal pod. I don't know why you're bigging up any Man United players.
You know.
This
Being
should be
friendly.
tribal. It should be
Being
tribal
friendly,
right now.
being friendly, trying to be
You don't
friendly.
need to be friendly. This is not about friendliness. We can be friendly once the game's done and we spanked them 4-0.
That's happening anyway.
That's if we
not-
put
Casemiro
Dora
or
Rice,
McTominay.
yeah.
It's not a
And
time to be
also,
friendly.
you're acting like your midfield is some sort of dominating midfield part, like because it looks like Partey's not playing from what we're reading in the comments. So Sambi Lakonga and Xhaka, please, mate, that doesn't scare me in a mid. Like doesn't. No, come on, mate. Like I don't know why you think we need to play Scott McTominay against you. Like we need a Bosher in there who's going to break up Arsenal's magnificent midfield.
I'd rather you did play.
We ain't got
Yeah,
a
you know.
magnificent midfield.
Yeah, I
We-
know,
we-
exactly.
I'd rather you-
We haven't got a magnificent midfield. I didn't say we had a magnificent.
No, but that's what I'm
midfield.
saying. Look, what I'm getting from you is I don't understand why you think we need to play McTominay so badly.
Because I see him against Liverpool in a really massive, probably the biggest match of the season for Man United. Always
Yeah.
is against Liverpool, and he played well. And I'm just
played all right.
thinking, so I'm just looking at it from Casemiro. It's early in his Man United career. Will Ten Hag look at it and think, "Yep, you're the nuts. You're the bollocks. You're the top man." But for this one, you might just be that little bit too early for you. So I'm just bigging up McTominay.
Well,
I
if that's
think
the
he
case,
played well.
if that's the case, then I don't know why we
Maybe
signed
not.
Casemiro. I don't know what. Like, I get bored with this nonsense with not with managers buying players for 70 mil and then be like, "No, it's too early. I can't bring him in. It's too early."
But they do that,
Casemiro-
Garth, don't they? They do
Yeah,
that.
100% agree
They
with you.
stick him on the bench.
I
They
agree
do.
with you.
Especially when there's a game on a Thursday and a
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah,
That's
if
the
Ten Hag-
point. That's
if
a
Ten
good
Hag
point.
does
That's
that,
a good
I'm going to
point.
be very disappointed. Very, very disappointed if Ten Hag does that.
That's a
Very
good point. The
disappointed.
fact that there's 2 games could make a big difference, you know, in that one. You know, they could play one each. Yeah.
Right, DGW says I hate both opinions, but
But
Villa hasn't been playing well, so Xhaka should be able to manage the game.
Yeah, but Xhaka don't play in that midfield. He plays more forward now, though, doesn't he?
Your
He probably
mic's
wouldn't
gone,
be
Keir.
involved.
Yeah,
I truly believed that we couldn't lose this game. Partey's not fit. Surprise, surprise. We are a midfielder short, like we all know we are. When the window shuts, they tell us how bad his injury is. Partey's injury is minor. It's minor. If it was more serious, then I think there'd be a lot more panicking going on. I think the fact that I think it's more of the case they wanted to probably play El Nene to not rush Partey back and bring Partey in for the Man United game, whereas they've not really got that option now, and they've got to play the Conga in that position. Or if Zinchenko's back, they can play Zinchenko in central midfield and Tierney at left back. So there are options. We're not as low, short in depth in the squad as Garth is making out. It's not the ends of the world. We've got a decent enough squad.
I still think you're light, man. Light team.
No, but the way you
We are
said it
light
was
in that
like
area.
that we've got an 11 and that's it.
I think you've got a 14, and that's pretty much it. I do honestly. Like once you start digging down into your bench,
Wait. There's no one denying that.
All right,
We're not denying that. We're not denying that. No one's denied that.
Really?
What you think? Name. So you got your 11, yeah. So you add 3 more onto that. Go on, Steve. Who do you think is some serious?
Tini,
depth
Vieira,
in-
Smith Rowe,
Yeah, that's
Holding.
That's 3.
That's for them, wasn't it?
Tierney, Smith Rowe.
Nketiah been smashing it. No, it's no. Well, come on.
Look,
We've been speaking about him all.
These are the players.
That's
These are the players I'm
5.
talking about. You're light. You're light, man.
If Nketiah is the obviously you can't be the same as
Tommy Asu, that's 6.
So you've got
Tommy Asu, 6. Cedric, 7.
But this is what I mean. I mean.
You're just naming your players. Yeah.
No, I just named Cedric, and then it was like, but it's like I've just named 6 players who could start for Arsenal, and you wouldn't go turn your head and go, oh, they're starting.
Well, you would.
Yeah,
I bet you would if Ferreira started over Odegaard.
If Saka gets injured,
We're talking about a squad on a bench.
Yeah, exactly. And if Saka gets injured, who goes in that right midfield slot?
Well, we know that.
It's Reece
We know
Nelson.
that.
It's Reece
There
Nelson.
is no one.
If Gabriel gets injured, we've got to rely on Eddie Nketiah. Rely. It's not an option. It's a rely. And this is what I mean about depth in squad.
We know that, don't we? Though.
That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not. This is no slight on the players that we've got because I like Eddie Nketiah, but when if we what?
You can't rely on him like for the rest of the
because we don't know over a long period of time if he can do what Gabriel Jesus we know can do. We lose Saka.
Yeah.
We lose Saka, and we've got Reece Nelson. That's a problem. So we are short in depth. But what I'm saying is it's not as bad as what I feel.
No, exactly. Yeah. That was. I mean, there was like I think someone said 3 players, but there is 6. You would say are good players. They're very good international players for that matter. So
I wouldn't say they're good. I wouldn't say they're great players.
But they're squad, aren't they? They're your squad players. They're not going to be as good as your first 11, are they?
But that's what I'm saying. What we're talking about is if one of your players goes down for the season, and then like Tierney comes in, that like what happens if he gets like a red card after that, and then you're down. You've got no one.
Our depth in squad isn't our defence. That's what I can. That's what I'm solidly happy with. If a player gets injured in our defence, we've got someone to cover.
Yeah.
Of any of them, we've got Saliba, Ben White, Gabriel, and Rob Holding. That's a solid 4.
Yeah. Rob Holding
That's a
ain't
solid
bad.
centre back 4. You've got Zinchenko and you've got and Kieran Tierney at left back. you've got 3 right backs because you can add Ben White into that as well. So defense is fine. But
Didn't you just have Ben White in the centre backs?
Huh?
Didn't you just have Ben White in the centre backs?
Yeah, but we've got Tommy Asu as right back. And and Cedric.
Yeah.
Tommy Asu.
I like Tommy Asu. I like Tommy Asu a lot.
He's our right back. He's our right back, but Ben White's been keeping him out.
And Tommy Asu can play centre back as well, can't he?
Yeah. So I'm happy with the defence. But then you get into the midfield, you lose Partey. We've brought in El Nene. That is a gulf in class.
Yeah.
Now, again, this isn't a dig at El Nene because you bring in El Nene for 2 or 3 games and he does a job. You bring in El Nene for 10 games, you're falling short. I'm sorry, you're falling short.
Well, we know we're 2 players short, don't we, Kears? We know we're short of a right winger. We know we're short of another midfield player. We've been saying that all season. So
that's my point. That's my point. That's my whole point. We lack in depth. We do because the gulf between the first team and who would cover them is too big. It's too big, and if we were to put those players in those positions, we'd be in trouble, and we wouldn't be talking like we're going to be going for top 3. We'd be talking like, can we get top 4? Are we going to be in the? Can we get that 5th spot? How well are we going to do in the Europa League? Those are the worries. So we do need to still make moves in the transfer window, and if we don't, we need to make moves in January. All right.
Yeah.
Right. All right. That is all we have time for. Oh, before we go, I'm going to go round each one. Score prediction. Nathan, score prediction.
You got Man United, Arsenal.
No. Let the Leicester game tomorrow.
Real Madrid, Levante.
I'm going with a 1-1.
Score.
After all that,
yeah, you know it. That's so
God, you best be talking about Arsenal getting spanked tomorrow on the weekend.
Spanked 3-1. Yeah, well, I don't think we'll get a clean sheet. But 3-1, 3-1, 4, yeah, 3-1, mate. Definitely 3. I think Man United win all day. I think Man United win.
Mate. They're no jokes. So.
They haven't. Look, listen, Crystal Palace is all right, but they haven't played any of the big boys yet. After I see them play a big boy and do what they've done, then I'll say that they're doing really well, and I'll admit that. But we all know what it's like. You come like United. We'll see how they do against Man United. We'll see how they do against Man United.
We all know it's like Newcastle last season, winning the league, Suwoo. And then, I mean, it all went downhill from there, didn't it? What you say it's 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1 I'll go with Man United. 3-1 United.
Steve, what score are you going for?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more philosophical, if you say that word, philosophical.
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 Philosophical. That's a different word.
Well done. Thanks, Kiz. Look, it's Man United. I know it's that boring phrase, but it's Man United. And Man United should be saying, we're playing Arsenal. Right? Arsenal on fire. Man United should be up for it. They will be up for it. They've got their new signings playing. We've heard about it tonight, how good they're going to be. How Anthony's going to, be up for it. And Casemiro's going to be in there smashing Xhaka or Partey or Lokonga all over the pitch. So
I don't think anyone said that. I think we said we'd rather have Casemiro than Scott McTominay.
Tongue in cheek, Garth, tongue in cheek. But seriously, it's Manchester United we're playing here, and it's going to be tough. And I'll take a draw now. I'm going to look at it that way. If we come away from someone giving me it now, I'll take it. So, yeah. I'm gonna go for a draw. I'm gonna agree with Nathan, and I'm gonna go for 1-1. So say 1-1 before I come on. So I'm gonna stick with it 1-1. It's Man United. It's gonna be tough. They're gonna be up for it. And yeah, I always worry about when we go to Old Trafford and play Man United. So 1-1. I'll take that now.
All right, Steve's gone for a 1-1 draw. Jerome, what's the scores on the doors?
I can't see Arsenal winning, so I'll go 2-2. Few goals.
Jerome's gone for a 2-2.
Where are you going with, Kears?
I'm the host.
You got to throw one out now.
No, not today. Not today, mate. Not today. You're an Arsenal fan. Come on.
Yeah, you know it. You've got to throw one out now.
Ooh, how Man United done at home?
we got beat by Brighton, mate. So
well, not that, mate. Anyway, the other Man United got beat by Brighton. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Man United from 2 weeks ago is not the Man United from now. So
Totally not.
To be
I'm
fair,
gonna
yeah,
go-
to be fair, it ain't, yeah.
oh, do you know what? Oh, for fuck's sake. I have to go for a win because I've been talking so much smack. But I want to go for 1-0, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal win. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal.
You think it's a draw then? Yeah. Thank you.
I think it'd be 1-0.
So that's 4 of us thinking a draw. Garth thinks a win.
All day a win, mate. We always beat Arsenal when it matters. Like every single time when it comes down to it, and it actually matters.
Not last year.
we
They
beat.
booked us at their ground.
Did it actually matter last year?
It didn't matter last year,
We
but
beat them
like,
once, didn't we?
it
beat
mattered
them
to
once?
me.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, we always do. Champions Leagues, cups,
Well,
everything.
let's hope we
Like
do it this time. I
Yeah.
hope we do, but I just feel like they're playing such good football. We're gonna draw.
I think you'd be won and lost. It's an old cliche, isn't it? But I think you'd be won and lost in the midfield.
It'll be tight.
yeah,
It will be.
tight.
it'll be a good
it
game.
will
Like I
be.
said, it'll be an open game. I think so. I definitely see. I don't see it being a one. I can't see it being that low scoring 1-0.
Yeah.
Like I just
think
can't.
2-2. I'm agreeing with Jerome now.
Yeah.
I'm with 2 now.
All right.
If I can even it's the non
So indecisive. All right, that is
Brace,
all we
brace
have.
mentally, yeah.
That's
He don't
all we
play.
have.
I tell you that now.
Anthony ain't getting nothing in that game. God, I'm talking too much wass. Anthony ain't getting nothing, mate.
One of us is eating some humble pie next week.
Yeah,
There's no two ways
nothing,
about
he ain't
it.
doing nothing.
Just
Anthony.
Jay Jesus to score. Jesus to score for Arsenal and McTominay for Man United.
Get out of it. McTominay. Get off that train. All right. Thanks you everyone who's joined us tonight. That is all we have time for. If you are new to the show, press that like and subscribe button. If you are a regular, press that subscribe button, press that like and press that share button. You don't have to press the copy. And that's it. That's what you've got to do. It's messing with the algorithm, do you know? Yeah. All right. Thank you very much for everyone in the comment section. Everyone new, everyone old. Peace out, people. Okay, first of all, thank you for joining us, everyone.
Pleasure.
Peace out. Stay safe. And wash your hands.